just go for it and don't give up, because there's so many times like either your fear is building up and kind of shooting yourself down, saying if you can't do it, like don't start this business,
right?
Or like you're just tired. Just keep going. Give yourself grace,
right?
For sure. Like when I say I was pouring those candles for like 9 months until like 2 in the morning,
right?
I finally said I need to like give myself a little bit of a break here. Take a week off. Take a few days off, whatever you can afford yourself,
right?
And just kind of recover. And then you feel refreshed, and you can start back again.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kay and I'm a marketing and content strategist, and this is another week of Behind the Scenes Queens. This week I'm joined by the beautiful Miss Lindsey, the owner of Comfort Candles Co. LLC. Thank you for joining me, Lindsey.
Thank you for having me.
So let the people know, how did you start your candle business?
So I started back in 2020. It was like the middle of the pandemic, and I had decided not to go into teaching.
Okay.
I actually have a birth through kindergarten degree.
Oh, okay.
So I decided not to do that, and I was seeing all these other women that had their own businesses, so I was really inspired by that, and I wanted to have my own thing. I saw a lot of people making different things, like jewelry, things like that, but I wanted to make something that I didn't really see a lot of other people making.
Okay.
I've always loved candles, so I thought, why not make candles? I love the way they can transform a vibe, transform a room, and make you feel just warm and cozy.
Right, the right candle will do that.
Right? So that's kind of how the idea was born. And then I decided to go all natural because the first candle I made was a paraffin wax candle. They say that that's easier to work with.
Right.
And I want to preface this by saying, like, I was not an all-natural girl. Like, I didn't really care about all-natural products.
Okay.
So I made this paraffin wax candle, and I burned it in my house. And almost instantly, I could feel my lungs, like, tightening.
Yeah.
And just having, like, a bad reaction. And I'm not really, like, a sensitive person to products. So I figure it's the chemicals in it.
Right.
I was just using a regular scent. It wasn't branded as like a natural or a clean scent. So from that moment, I decided this is gonna have to be all natural. So I only use 100% soy wax.
Okay.
It's not a blend of paraffin and soy. It's 100% soy.
Okay.
And then I use beeswax for my melts.
Okay.
And I only use clean scents. So there's like a specific set of criteria that has to be met to be considered a clean scent.
Okay.
So that's kind of how the idea was born.
So it was basically trial and error.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of trial and error.
So did you sell any of the ones that were kind of smoky?
No, I
Okay.
did not sell any of the paraffin wax
Okay.
ones.
So whenever you went into the natural process, what was that like learning? Since you were not a natural girl, what was that like learning the different types of natural ways to make candles?
Well, it was a lot of trial and error. There is a lot of math and science that goes into making candles that you wouldn't think. Like all that goes into it.
Yeah.
And the soy wax and the natural products, they're harder to work with. And that's why so many people will go with paraffin wax, because it's easier
way out.
So it was a lot of trial and error for sure. But I could definitely tell the difference when I burned it. Like my lungs did not react that way. It smelled so good, and it felt good knowing that I wasn't sacrificing my health or my family's health.
Right. And those usually burn longer too, right?
Yes, they burn longer. You're not going to see like that black soot around the candle rim or the candle jar. So that'll let you know, this is a more natural candle. And a lot of people, if you burn those paraffin candles and get that soot around the rim, you'll start to see it around like the base, not the baseboards, the crown molding and the ceiling. You'll see like black soot start to accumulate if you burn them, a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy.
So you're learning how to create these natural candles, and you finally sell your first one. What was that like?
It was so rewarding. It just like made me want to go get more, you know, like make this money and build a client base, because when you first start and you're like putting it out into the world, it's scary. Like, what are people going to think? Are they going to like it? Is anybody going to buy my candle? And so when I started to have people buy them, it just encouraged me more to keep going and, you know, build more customers.
That's awesome. So where did you like sell your first candles at?
So my first few candles were like from family that bought them. But like a week or two in, I got a deal with City Center Gallery and Books right down here on Hay Street. So they were my first store that I got my candles into.
So great.
Yeah, so you can buy them there. And then it was mostly like word of mouth at first, and then probably like a few months in, I got my website. So I started getting sales there. I'm also in Cape Fear Botanical Gardens in the gift shop. Reimagined on Lindsey Road. And then we're about to be in Sunshine Beauty and Bliss, which is also here in downtown Fayetteville.
That's a new place, right?
Yeah, they have nails, hair, tanning, waxing, eyebrows, eyelashes. They have it all. And they also have like a boutique in their lobby that sells clothes and stuff. So
that is so cool. So what is a tip for someone if they're trying to get their products into a store location? How did you make that happen?
Yeah, so I actually have had people ask me this on Instagram before. You just have to ask. Like, it's scary, but you just gotta ask them, like, hey, are you looking for a vendor? I would love to sell my items in your store. You know, sometimes you get a yes, sometimes you get a no, but you never know until you ask.
But you kept going and kept asking.
I kept going, kept asking. So.
See, you guys just have to ask. It's that simple.
It is. It's scary, but you just gotta be brave and ask.
And you're in like 5 different locations because you just took the step and asked someone.
Literally.
See, ask. You don't know until you ask.
And a lot of the times it was like I hadn't planned on asking. Like when we were in the Botanical Gardens, my husband and I, we got married there. And we were in the gift shop and we saw some other candles in there. And my husband was like, you should ask, come on, ask. He was like nudging me to ask them. And I did, and they were like, yeah, of course. And they gave me the paperwork, and I was in.
Wow. So you didn't have to do a proposal or anything. You just simply was like, hey, can I bring my candles here?
I did, you know, give them my little spiel about everything, which hopefully helped. But they let me in.
Oh, that's so cool. So as you are growing your business, what would you say is, besides learning about natural candles, what's another obstacle you had to overcome?
Definitely time management.
I think that's for everybody.
This is not my full-time job. I have a full-time 9-to-5 job. So you work all day and then you got to go home and put in more hours and get it done. For the first like 9 months, I was making candles until like 2 a.m.
Oh my goodness.
Every night. Because I was preparing for like big events to get my name out there. And it was very tiring, but it was worth it. I also struggle with like time management for social media. But you just gotta keep going. Just push and do it. You'll feel better once it's done.
So have you gotten better at managing your time and navigating those things?
Definitely with the like production, I've gotten better. I've upgraded my materials. And like the materials I used to produce them, I used to make them with this small little pot on my oven. And now I have like this huge digi boiler that melts all my wax and pours it for me. I used to like scoop it into another pot. Now I have a little spout.
Kind of went from old school to new school.
Definitely. Because it used to take me like hours just to make 12 candles. Now I can do that in like 30 minutes.
Isn't that crazy? Just an upgrade to machinery.
Like I was so nervous to do that upgrade, but once I did it, it was so worth it. I was like, why didn't I do this?
You're right.
Sooner?
Like, why? That's great though, because now you're at 30 minutes. How many candles can you make in 30 minutes?
I could probably make 25, 30 if
Wow.
I'm really pushing.
So you're like doubling the amount of candles with the better equipment.
Yeah,
It's
it was
crazy.
so much worth it. And like organizing my materials too has been a huge help. I have like a little candle cart. We just moved, so I'm gonna have like an actual workspace now.
That's great.
Before I would have to bring all my materials into the kitchen and put everything away when I was done. But I'll be able to have everything in one space, so that'll definitely help.
Oh, that's definitely gonna save you time too.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So I know you do a lot of local events. How do you get in contact with people for you to do local events too?
So my first few events that I did were through Reimagined on Lindsey. Lindsey Road. It's also my name. Again, you just have to ask. My biggest event that I've done so far was the holiday fair at the Crown, and you did have to apply for that. It was not just a ask and they let you in. They have to, review your application, and then they let you know if you, kind of make the cut or not.
Okay.
Luckily, I made the cut, and I was able to do that. But again, just asking. People are really friendly, most of the time. You just gotta put yourself out there.
Right. I think a lot of it comes that we build up this imaginary story in our head.
Yes.
And we're like, they're going to tell me no, they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
And it's like we don't even take the first step because we're so afraid of what people will think and do. But it is really not like that half the time.
It's not. No, I can't think of any experience where someone has been rude or giving me a negative reaction when I've asked. I asked for one store, and they just didn't really take vendors. But she was totally nice about it. So it is just building up of a fear. You just gotta put yourself out there and ask.
You just have, and that's the first step, just taking the action that you're afraid to take, basically. And then it's no longer a fear because you finally conquered it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I just feel like entrepreneurship is unknown. Basically, and that's what makes it so scary to us.
Definitely. And it's a lot of trial and error. It's not going to be perfect the first time or the first few times that you do anything. You just gotta keep trying and correcting your mistakes. And like you said, once you do it, it's not as scary.
Exactly. So now you're going to events. You have your website. You're showing up on social media. Are those the only ways that you market your business?
Those are the only ways. I do a lot of word of mouth, my website, the social media. I was in an online magazine, Voyage Raleigh.
Okay.
They actually contacted me to do an interview,
awesome.
which was so exciting. I ran to tell my husband because I was like, oh my god, these people want to interview me. I felt the same way when he asked me. So whenever I get opportunities like that, I always take them because you never know who will see and be interested.
So you said word of mouth is the biggest way. So what does that look like for you? Is it just old clients? Is it your family? How does that look like?
Yeah, so I have a couple of really loyal clients that they always buy my candles, and then they always go and post on their story. That is such a help, because then their friends see, oh, look, these candles that she bought. They must be great. And then they come to me. So, yeah, word of mouth is very helpful. And then a lot of family and friends, too.
Right. Well, that's very great that you have them supporting you also.
Yeah, they've been very supportive and very appreciative of all of you.
Okay, so my next question is, what is one piece of advice that you would tell an entrepreneur that is starting their business, that has been in business? What is that advice?
I would say just go for it and don't give up, because there's so many times either your fear is building up and kind of shooting yourself down, saying you can't do it, don't start this business, or you're just tired. Just keep going, give yourself grace, for sure. When I said I was pouring those candles for 9 months until 2 in the morning, I finally said, I need to give myself a little bit of a break here. Take a week off, take a few days off, whatever you can afford yourself. And just kind of recover and then you feel refreshed, and you can start back again. For those of you that are already in a business, and if you're considering it, just go for it, because you're never gonna know until you do it.
Right.
I remember when I first was like thinking about this, I was so scared to put it out there and say I'm making candles, but so many people supported me and encouraged me, which, you know, you don't think about that part. Usually you're just thinking about the scary part of, are they gonna like it? You don't think about, they're gonna support me, they're gonna love it, I'm gonna be successful. So just go for it.
Right.
You know?
Just go for it, guys.
Just do it.
Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me and Lindsay as we talked about her amazing candle business. And you can connect with Lindsay at
comfortingcandlesco.llc.com is my website. comfortingcandles.co is my website. And then my Instagram is Comforting Candles Co. LLC. We're on Facebook. You can find us again at the Cape Fear Botanical Gardens gift shop, City Center Gallery Books, Reimagined on Lindsey. And yeah.
And I will have her links in the show notes as always. And you guys make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can find out all the latest updates with business owners and marketing and content tips. And I want to thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys. Bye.